I'm Erica and welcome to Froth and Glaze. I'm a home barista, a major coffee enthusiast, and I love latte art. So today's video is on how to pour a monk's head, and it's a great pattern if you're just starting out. I'll talk about the recipe, the materials, I'll do a quick review on milk frothing, and I'll talk about the hand movements you'll need to know this pattern. A traditional latte is around 8 ounces and it's made up of 1/3 of the volume as espresso, 2/3 of the volume is steamed milk, and has a light layer of foam on top. Despite the name latte art, you can do art on any espresso and milk based drink. So today we're going to use a latte since it's easier to learn patterns with a larger drink size rather than a small one like a cortado or a cappuccino. The monk's head pattern involves only one pouring technique called placing. Placing is when you bring the pitcher close to the surface and then pour out some of the microfoam in a single place. This contrast between the canvas and the microfoam causes your pattern to appear. This pattern name originates from the resemblance from the tonsure or the hairstyle worn by the Catholic monks in the Middle Ages. And you'll notice it's a circular pattern with a slight indentation on the top. So let's talk about materials next. You'll need your espresso machine with a steam wand, 6 ounces of whole milk, a 15 to 20 ounce size pitcher, a single shot of espresso, I like to use 36 grams, an 8 ounce mug, and a clean bar towel. Notice I'm starting from where the espresso is already made since the video focused more on the pattern pouring. Remember when you make your drinks to always make your espresso first and steam your milk second. Microfoam stiffens and degrades quickly if it's left sitting. So let's get right into steaming our milk. Right here on the pitcher is a line. On this pitcher it's about 6 ounces. So I'm going to fill to that line. We're going to use less milk than the total drink volume of 8 ounces because when we add the steam, air will cause the milk to expand and bring our volume closer to 8 ounces. Okay, let's next purge our steam wand to get rid of any extra condensation. Okay, we're going to pull the steam wand out from the machine until it stops, and then line up with the spout in our pitcher. Make sure that the holes on the steam wand are slightly covered so we can add air just at a little bit at a time. Turn on our machine and then we'll start adding air. Notice that the steam wand is in the upper right quadrant of the pitcher and I'm not moving the pitcher. Once it's at the same temperature as my hand, I'm going to slightly move the pitcher up to cover up the steam holes. And I'm going to keep mixing until the texture smooths out and there are not any large bubbles. Once it's too hot to touch, I'll turn it off and I'll stop adding air and mixing. I'll clean off my steam wand, purge out any extra milk, and push the steam wand back in the machine. Okay, let's take a look at our texture here. We're looking for a glossy wet paint style. Okay, next let's add our espresso to our mug and we're going to give the milk a little swirl to smooth out the texture. Next, I'll bring my pitcher up high and start pouring directly in the center. And the important part about pouring into the center is so that the espresso and the milk is mixed properly. Okay, I'll keep filling until the cup is about halfway full. Next, let's line up our pitcher with our mug, and I'm going to place the pitcher right on the rim of the mug and the spout slightly above the center. So you'll see in this picture, the dot is slightly above the center of the mug. Once you have your placement correct on your mug, then as you start pouring out of the pitcher, tilt the mug away from you and keep filling at a constant flow rate until the mug is full. And there you have it. That's the monk's head pattern. It's a circular pattern with a slight indentation. It comes from the placement of the pitcher. I hope you enjoyed this video on learning to pour a monk's head pattern on your latte. If it doesn't turn out like you want, keep practicing where you place the spout. That's the key part and where the contrast appears and where your pattern starts.